Sup, friends? Today we are back with Pesterquest. Finally, I know it's been a while. I actually got like a cold and stuff, and that's why I didn't record. But it's all good in the hood, bro. So we're just gonna start, bro. On the advice of your new friend John, you go to visit one of his close comrades. Why though? Close only figuratively speaking, since it seems she lives all the way on the other side of the country. That's no problem for you though, since your new powers let you hop anywhere, anytime, even the places that don't exist. Okay. Well, you think your powers let you do that. You just have this distinct metatextual feeling that you could pretty much go anywhere at this point. You know that doesn't make any sense. There's nothing that doesn't make sense about friendship, though. And that's exactly what you're about to do. Friendship, that is. You're about to do some friendship by making a new friend. Her name is, you check your notes, Rose. This is her house, apparently. Looks kind of weird and modern, and it's situated in the middle of the woods for no good reason you can think of. Also, it's pouring rain, which is not what you would describe as ideal friend making conditions. Wasn't it like storming when she was like trying to get in the game of Spurb and it was like storming all over her house? Still, nothing stops a mailman, Jesus Christ. Not from delivering mail nor making friends. Rather famously, rain and other similar weather patterns provide no deterrent to the performance of his duty. And there is no duty more important than friendship. Oh, it's Rose, guys! Suddenly, a woodland girl approaches, wearing all purple. She loves purple, bro. Who goes there? Oh, it's your new friend Rose, obviously, even though we haven't even said hi, we're already friends. There's literally no one else this could be. You introduce yourself. You are the cool mailman who John told her to expect a visit from soon. They must think you're crazy at this point. You would doff your mail hat to signal a friendly greeting, except recently you accidentally dropped it into a sewer along with all your mail specific clothes. I mean, did he really have mail stuff? Like, I'm confused. As well as all the mail you were supposed to deliver, as you explained to her gratuitously in an unconvincing manner. It's not a great start, you admit, but you've done much worse. Bro, the music is so loud, Jesus. It's still loud, whatever. Okay, now I have to do Rose's voice. Hold on. You are not a mailman. Yikes, you are busted almost immediately. You briefly consider whether you should double down on the lie and try to say something mailman like, nah, hang it up, bro. Or whether the right call is to come clean, since she's clearly too smart for this amateur bullness. But it's taking a few seconds too long for you to decide, which looks guilty as hell. That's it. The jig is up. You slouch in defeat. You ask her if she would please consider not telling John. Oh my god. Your heart couldn't take it if he found out your entire friendship was based on a lie. You want me to keep a secret from one of my best friends to protect the feelings of a random buffoon who I've never met and arbitrarily showed up to my house in the remote wilderness like a creep? Yeah, it is very weird. Like, this dude needs to go behind some jail bars at this point. Oh. Uh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what happened. It's an interesting proposition, if for no other reason than its audacity. I admire your resolve in the face of humiliation. This doesn't mean we're friends, though. Oof, rough. Well, that's fine. You're hopeful. Your mind is fuzzy, but you think you remember this. From where, Jesus Town? You're good at this. You are excellent at making people like you through underhanded means. You can't wait to take advantage of this 13-year-old girl's goodwill. Bro, what is... Okay, wow, not like that. Let's not be too weird. In fact, let this be the last creepy thought you have for comical purposes. S-grade jokes only. Let's all get our brains out of the gutter. Yeah, I would say that. Okay, I'm back. I just had to check something. Rose raises a thin brow. There's something unsettling about her deep violet eyes. Yeah, the fact that they're violet. You're pretty sure most humans don't have eyes like that, like I just said. But what the heck do you know? You're a stranger around these parts. Yeah, I'm sure. Wait, aren't you a human too? Whatever, it's not a big deal. Not when there are friends to be made. This dude is a sociopath or something. Do you want to come inside? Unless I'm interrupting your internal monologue, of course. Far be it from me to ever cut short any sort of navel-gazing sidebar. It's just ever so slightly wet out here. You would absolutely love that if it's not too much trouble, of course. You wouldn't want to put Rose out. You're lying, though. You are 100% fine with being absolutely infuriatingly obnoxious if it means making a friend. Rose purses her lips, considering. Your predilections toward mailman mimicry weren't all that John told me about. Oh? He also said that you had certain powers? What powers? What powers? Okay, I looked at the other like John route you could have took, and like basically you saw the kids. I'm sorry to spoil it, but I'm not gonna do it anyways. But you saw like it was like an epilogue scene. Like it was John and all the teens. Like when they were about to go fight. What was it, Lord English or something? So yeah, that's pretty cool. But powers of teleportation and time travel. I told him that he must be mistaken, since it's a well-known and accepted fact that magic, although a popular and highly engaging subject of fiction, is fake as hell. Oh, your zappy powers? No, those are totally real and not fake. Real in a different way than you being a mailman is real, since that is actually made up. Is that so? Prove it. You shrug, easy enough. You hold out a hand, and after a moment of hesitation, Rose puts her fingers in yours. Her nails are long and sharp and painted a glossy black. She closes her eyes and her umbrella droops. Should I picture my room or something similar? I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to work. She still thinks you're messing with her. You tell her that you guess she can do that if she wants. You zap the two of you inside the big modern house, and when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a large, messy bedroom. Yeah, Rose, clean your room, girl. Oh! She drops her umbrella. You really did that. Rose stands in the center of her room in full rain gear. Yeah, man, you gotta prepare to live in this place. Her boots track muddy prints into the thick white carpet. Surprise! You really are magic! Bro, I like her room a lot. Like, you see all the, like, wizard stuff she's into, and then you, her little violin, and and then it's this very reminiscent, bro. Rose puts a small hand against her perfectly painted black lips. Why is she so gothic? Okay. She seems momentarily lost for words, and you get the feeling that it is not a thing that happens very often. Her eyes are wide. Well, I would hope so, Mr. Mailman. I'm pretty sure they don't get teleported around all day long, every day. Her eyes are wide and deeply purple. They're sparkling, you might even say. Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay here. Don't go into the hall. It's not safe. What? What? You tell Rose to take your time. You're happy to just stand here dripping onto her nice clean floor. Haha, very happy. She leaves the room and you take the opportunity to examine your surroundings a little more closely. The bed is unmade, books are strewn. That is what it says, strewn. Over the floor carelessly, and a collection of half-drunk cups of coffee crowd the desk. Why are you drinking coffee at 13? I don't even like coffee now, but that's just me. Half-finished knitting projects lie in soft piles all over the room. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that this room is often occupied by someone with a lot of interest who has trouble settling down and putting her attention to one thing at a time. Just call her out, bro. Man, you relate, not with interest, but with friends. I love my friends. You can imagine settling for just one. Bro, this dude needs to go to jail. Someone. Rose has a number of posters on her walls, although nowhere near as many as your friend John. A calendar hangs beside the window, days ticked off with little X's, all the way up to 413, which is circled. You step closer to read the year date up in the corner, 2009. Oh, oh yeah, that's when Homestuck started back in 2009, right? Well, what the heck do you care about the date? You can make friends any day of the damn week, rain or shine, night or day. Okay, sure. I'm done at this point. Rose sure is taking a while out there. She told you that it wasn't safe out in the hall. Maybe she hadn't just been quipping. What? Maybe she's actually in trouble. What should you do? Okay, I'm gonna save the game for once. Ah ha 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 ha. I'm not moving. Oh, she just took her stuff off. Your patience pays off almost at once. Rose is back and looking significantly more put together, although she's brought you a towel. Here. I'm not overly attached to anything in here. It's mostly just childhood nonsense I haven't yet bothered to rid myself of. But I'd appreciate it if you'd try not to drip on any of the notebooks. She has changed out of her raincoat and boots, and she's dressed in a neat black shirt and a skirt and a white shirt with a purple blob thing with tentacles. What is it with these kids in their blob shirts? Who knows? Now that that's dealt with, please sit down. She crosses her legs. You suddenly feel like you're at a job interview, friend interview. You wish you were a little less damp. Actually, let's switch places. You're still pretty wet. You don't want to get her bedspread messed up. Don't worry about it. That's what washing machines are for. Now let's talk about magic, which up until now I have always taken for granted as being something confined to storybooks. Rose takes a wistful look toward her bedroom window, grayed over and blurry with raindrops. You get the feeling that she's doing it for effect. Maybe that's why she wanted you to switch places with her. Oh my god. And then comes you, the not a mailman, with a penchant for showing up and attempting to make friends with unwitting children. Well, fair, she's got you there. But honestly, she might be a child, but she really doesn't seem to be unwitting. On the contrary, she's really quite witty. I'm glad you noticed. She folds her hands and clears her throat. I wonder what you're actually like saying out loud to them and what you're thinking in your head, because it's not clear at all what you. She folds her hands and clears her throat. You think that if she had any notes, she would be shuffling them. And so the question remains, are you a good witch or a bad witch? Or are you a wizard? We've already established that you are not a public servant. Is there a difference between a witch and a wizard? Bro, don't ask me. Of course there is, but exactly how specific of a difference can vary. According to some works of fiction, a wizard is just a witch's male counterpart. Yeah, that's what I thought. But, But in certain mythologies, for instance, Arthurian legend, the difference appears to be class-based. That's what I also thought. Wizards reside at court and are classically trained, while witches are self-taught and run wild through the forest. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I won't deny that those differences tend to often be gendered as well. You ask her which one she is, a witch or a wizard. Me? Rose shifts, uncrossing and recrossing her legs. You shrug and say she just seems to know a lot about them. I know a thing or two, as you can see by the posters on my wall. But, but can I tell you a secret? Oh my god, Rose. She has no idea how much you would love to hear her secret because you're crazy. I find them, wizards, I mean, utterly reprehensible. They disgust me. Everything from their foppish robes to their grizzled beards. It's my mother who is the wizard enthusiast in this house. Although, she glances from side to side, Theoretically, most of the things Rose does seem to be at least a little bit theatrical. These are some hard words. Okay, she kneels on the carpet beside the clutter of books. I don't show these to many people. Actually, I haven't shown them to anyone. Not even John. John seemed to be a pretty cool guy. Definitely a guy worth sharing a few secret notebooks with. Rose laughs. No, I haven't shown them to John. And I've only shown Strider to punish him. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You nod, pretending that you know who the Strider person is. Oh, yeah, we love Dave Strider. You are a totally normal dude with an absolutely ungodly number of friends. Are we going to Dave next? I hope we're doing Dave next, because I love Dave. A shadow moves through the center of you. What? A trembling moment of deja vu? You do have a lot of friends, don't you? That feels true. But the only people you know here are John and now Rose. Weird. Yeah, definitely weird, man. Friendism coming at you live. You try to put it to what? You try to put it to from your mind. That is not. Okay, whatever. And listen to Rose again. She is still talking about this mysterious Strider. Flipping through one of the journals, too quickly for you to see anything specific, only that it is full from cover to cover. As if my modest writings are the sole source of homoerotic tension in his life. Homoerotic. When his brother is the one who insists on filling their home with assorted Oompa Doompas for ironic purposes. Well, yeah, dude crazy. Rose rolls her eyes. Oh boy, you missed the beginning of that. It probably made way more sense than it seemed like. I mean, sure. Rose is searching through her notebooks, checking markings on the spine that seem to be some sort of cataloging system of arcane symbols. Where is? Oh, right. She does something quick and complex with her fingers, and another notebook pops into existence and falls into her lap. What? 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 I. Excuse me? You gave. She really is a wizard. Or maybe you're just crazy. What? It's just a Sylladex. A child could use one here. Oh, 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 oh. That makes sense. I was so confused for a second. This notebook has a couple drawings in it, but most of it is filled with small, neat handwriting in lavender ink. Is Rose writing a book? No, don't be silly. I'm writing 4 books, at least. 5, depending on whether I decide to flesh out Calmus's backstory. It isn't strictly necessary, but it does add a certain amount of valuable character insight, which renders their actions in later volumes more sympathetic. Aw. Not that I need all of my anti-heroes to be sympathetic. I'm just thinking of what the literary reviewers would say. You nod. Smart! You would have never thought of what the literary reviewers would say. She is honestly pretty impressive for someone her age. Age has nothing to do with it, but don't get carried away. It's only a rough draft. You ask her if you can take a look. She hesitates, but you doubt she would have shown it to you if she didn't want you to look. What the hell? If you can't trust a strange spherical imprint you met outside in the rain, who can you trust? Right, your thoughts exactly. Rose hands you the notebook and you open it at random, letting fate guide your hands. Oh. Friglish bothered his beard, as if unthinking a hitch in a long silk windsock. A more pedestrian audience would parse the exhibit as nervous compulsion, behavior to petition contempt among the reasonable. He was, however, not surrounded by the reasonable, but the wise, a distinction in men that would forever be the difference in history's garland of treasured follies. As a matter of fact, his cadre of fellow wizards were all putting similar moves on their beards as well. The practice would evince thoughtfulness, sagacity even. What are these words? If they didn't do it all the time. Standing in line at the bank, shooing squirrels from bird feeders. Few occasions were safe. Zazerpan, these names are so dumb, inspected the clue. A single piece of evidence cradled in his courageous old man palms. It was a human bone, not striking in the tale it told alone so much as that told by the thousands like it, festoning the marshy soil of the mouse grave. It's so freaking ahead of me. Oh my god. The grisly expense bore the texture of a decadent desert, like one of Swarmy's formidable custard trifles wobbled out on wheels for the holidays, to the dismay of a small nation. "You're certain of this?" asked Friglish. Despite what he was doing with his beard, he was, in fact, immersed in meaningful contemplation. "I am afraid I am becoming more so with each terrible tick growls by that gaudy timepiece slung around your neck." In case it wasn't clear, Foolish wore a clock Zazerpan didn't care for. It was magic. "The massacre of Sissiganoff was not as written." Oh. Bro, what kind of story? Bro. Okay, you do you, Rose. Wow, this is pretty dense, but smart. You stroke your own imaginary beard and pretend to ponder the deeper meaning. Yes, intriguing. Zazerpan and Friglish. Clearly there is some history there. Let's like do a whole freaking literary analysis on her book that is not published yet. Yes, clearly. But what the two of them shared went beyond simple romance. Oh! That's why it has gone so spectacularly sour. Bro, you're like me! Rose, we need to become best friends. Rose becomes increasingly more animated as she tells you about her gay wizard OCs. Oh my god! Bro, Rose, let me tell you about all the yaoi fanfics I've wrote in my life. There's like so many, and I even wrote a book. You can buy it on Amazon, The Lost Hopes of the Future. Okay. Like, she is far more interested in them than she is in herself. Same, bro! They share an intellectual bond, a mutual dedication to knowledge, and the preservation of such. The goal of the Leonard. Oh, I said Leonard. This is learn. I'm so done. Leonard is to amass their wisdom and keep it from general dissemination into the main populace of wizards. They feed it to their apprentices in drips and drabs. Of course, this will eventually lead to ruin. Of course, you flip further in the book, searching for the part where it leads to ruin. Ruin sounds interesting. Oh, reading again. Zazerpan knew he would see his wayward apprentice again. Knew it like he knew the tide would turn and the sun would blaze to its zenith as each inexorable day passed. Now they stood diametrically opposed across an overgrown chessboard. His apprentice's eyes were hidden behind dark glasses, but Zazerpan knew that if he could see them, they would be riddled with the madness of the void. Calmasis wasn't here for justice or for revenge. They were here exclusively because Zazerpan had something they wanted, something they were owed. You flip through the notebook, checking out the drawings. There are a lot of wizards, even though she said she didn't like wizards so bad. Each more bearded and venerable than the last. One of the pictures, the most recent maybe, since it's on the very last page of the journal, is of the two young wizards, twins maybe. They have gray hair and are wearing slick green suits and are standing back to back with their arms entwined, staring into the middle distance. It's very anime. You compliment Rose on her artistic prowess. Yes, thank you. They're alright. I'm a much better writer than I am an artist. You tell her you think she's really good, way better than you. You're absolutely positive she's going to be famous one day. Oh, it's true. The epilogues, everyone was famous who lived. I appreciate the encouragement, even though I know you're just trying to flatter me. Due to your strange thirst for affirmative experiences. John told me all about that. Damn, busted. But you really do think she's talented. It's fine. It's not as if my social calendar is over full out here in the middle of the woods. Don't tell anyone I said that I don't have many friends. And don't tell them I've been drawing. He'd be insufferable. Bro, I think having 3 friends is actually very nice, Rose. I barely have 3 friends. He? Never mind. You assure Rose that her secrets are safe and hand back her journal. You're really excited about your new friend, and you might be so bold in her wizard stories. Although, wait, hadn't she said she hated wizards? Yeah, that's what I said. What's your point? Well, you're no expert on wizards or on Rose, but it seems like she actually does seem to like them. Yeah, because she has several notebooks full of wizard fiction. You aren't trying to get like real here, but maybe it's possible her mom isn't the only one in the family who likes wizards. Rose pulls her book out of your hands. What? It's obvious! That and the rest of the books vanish in the thin air. Oh right, that must have been that. What did she call it? Silodex? She doesn't look angry exactly, but the lines around her mouth and eyes that softened as she talked about her book have hardened back. Her eyes glittered menacingly. Oh, is that right, Prude? Well, why don't you diagnose me? Oh, hey, wow, you weren't trying to be condescending or whatever. Clearly. Were you aware that it is a common psychological phenomenon for an individual to react to trauma by creating fictional representations of that which has caused them bodily harm or emotional dismay? Um, no. To suggest that the portrayal of these fictional renderings somehow condones them or supports them is absolutely absurd. So what she's saying is that she draws wizards to cope? Whoa, what the heck? Rose rises regally to her feet. The lightning turns her into an ethereal silhouette. What I'm saying is that I don't need to justify my fictional predilections to you or to anyone else. No, she's totally right. You're sorry that you suggested she might like wizards. It was horribly presumptuous and not all the way a friend should act. You are so sorry. You promise it will never happen again. No, I don't suppose it will. Get out of my house. It's probably just because Rose's hair is such a pale blonde, but it almost looks like she's glowing in the dim bedroom, like light behaves a little differently around her than it does on everything else. Would you look at that? It appears the rain is lighting up a bit. The rain is hitting the window so loudly you're actually having trouble hearing her. And your point is, you can just zap yourself out to where the weather is drier. F off. Well, guys, I guess we gotta go back in. Let's. I guess we'll go look for her. I don't. I mean, she's writing about, bro. What the Jesus? Oh my god. I never picked the right choice the first time around. I mean, I know we made the other choice before about the yes and no about the mailman situation, but let's just go look for her. You are too anxious to sit still, and I just messed up. And you aren't the sort of person who just sits there and waits for friend opportunities to fall into their lap. Better to run headlong in the danger, or as much danger as a minimalist, upper middle class house in the middle of the woods can offer. Rose had told you that it isn't safe, but who cares? You creep out into the hallway where a bunch of things happen more or less simultaneously. A deluge of quick time events that you had no idea were coming. Whoa. Here we go again. Lightning flashes in a perfect, jagged line across the tall window at the end of the hall, followed immediately by a crash of thunder so loud you think the house might be falling down. It probably is, bro. Abruptly, all the lights go out. Oh, hello there, Rose's mom. Another flash of lightning, and for a vertiginous Jesus moment, you see a long, thin figure superimposed against the window. You freak the heck out, jumping about a foot in the air and yowling like a cat. A small hand lands on your shoulder and you jump again. Calm down, it's just me. Rose speaks in a normal tone of voice and it's jarring. The house is echoey and cavernous, and there's just something about a dark house on a stormy evening that makes you want to whisper. I told you to stay put for a reason. It's too early for my mother to be sauced enough not to notice random strangers in her house, and I don't want to go through the tedious process of explaining who you are. You have a perfectly understandable reason for why you left, and that reason is that you were lonely. What? Rose snorts. Cold? You mean you were cold? Well, you are soaking wet. Follow me. She grabs you by the wrist and my freaking puppy is running all over. Jesus. She grabs you by the wrist and tows you down the hall. You wonder if you should warn her about the strange, wraith-like creature you saw by the window, but you don't want to freak her out. Although her mom might be at risk too, because that definitely wasn't her mom. Whatever, moms are tough. She'll be fine. This probably isn't the first time she's gone toe-to-toe with a weird Slenderman. This house looks haunted as anything, bro. Rose brings you to a dark laundry room, then motions you to take off your hoodie, which you do gladly because it is soaking wet. That's interesting. The design on the front, does it mean anything? Oh yeah. Does your design on your shirt mean anything? No. It is kind of cool. A blue line that zigzags on one end like lightning. Looking at it makes you feel unsettled. You realize Rose is still waiting for a response, so you just hand her the hoodie and tell her no. You're pretty sure it's just an abstract sign. Then you stand there while she tosses the sweatshirt in the dryer, feeling the alarming currents of memory in your bloodstream. You're sure there must be something you forgot to do. What? You continue to feel weird as Rose hits the dryer button and nothing happens. Dang. She hits the button a few more times. Look at her face, bro. As if that will make a bit of a difference when the power is out. She presses her thumb and forefinger to the bridge of her nose. Well, you aren't going to fit into anything of mine. She leads you down more long, dark hallways. Man, this house is unreasonably huge. You ask Rose if a lot of people live here. No, it's just me and my mother, and a hoard of liquids not soluble in water. Here, try not to drip on the carpet. You aren't sure how you're supposed to manage that, but okay. Where are we now? This room is large and dark, and when Rose parts the curtains, a flash of lightning illuminates a four-poster bed, a long counter, and a shelf covered head to foot in bottles. Rose vanishes through another door, leaving you to peruse. This is all liquor. Dang, this is a lot of booze. Here, I'm not sure what you would want to wear, but this should work until the power comes back on and we can dry your clothes. Rose hands you a long silk robe. She won't miss this. I don't think she's ever even worn it. She has this whole closet full of fantastic clothes that she never puts on. You take the robe and go into the large master bathroom. It's kind of a mess. The tub looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a long time. The robe gives you the same knotted feeling of familiarity that looking at your hoodie did. But you put it on anyway. It's a relief to get out of your wet clothes. You hang them carefully on the shower rod. When you head back out into the bedroom, you find Rose standing in front of the wall of liquor. She's holding a bottle of Grey Goose and squinting at the label like she's trying to read the nutrition facts. I've often wondered what exactly the merits of consuming this are. It tastes quite literally like burning. She opens the bottle, and before you can protest that she is in by no means the legal drinking age, and wherever the heck you are, she puts the bottle to her mouth and takes a sip. She splutters. Ugh, that's terrible. You could have told her that. Straight vodka isn't for the uninitiated, even fancy vodka. You take the bottle from her. She hesitates for a moment, then lets it go. You set it back on the shelf. This really is, quite an impressive liquor cabinet. Liquor wall, liquor room. Her mom must really have a refined palate. Don't strain yourself. You can say it. What's the point of menacing words? She is an alcoholic. Oh wow, this is intense. You're not sure if you're prepared for something this heavy. You were kind of counting on some silly shenanigans, maybe a couple funny jokes. You aren't cut out for this. You get the feeling that at some point you might have been cut out for this. You might have been the sort of person your friends or potential friends could count on. In fact, you know on some level that this is true, but whenever you try to nail down any sort of specifics, you find a gaping lacuna in your experiences. It's all just white noise. Rose's shoulders slump as she stands surveying her mother's bottles. She doesn't even have the decency to hide your distasteful habits. Who needs an entire wall of liquor bottles? She doesn't have people over. She doesn't have any friends. This is all just for me. Just more of her passive aggressive act as a femme fatal 1950s housewife with a death wish. It's just like the wizards. Wizards? Oh, yeah, we went back, so we don't know anything about wizards. Don't worry about it. You know how long it's been since I've had a home-cooked meal? And I'm not saying that I require or even deserve a lovingly crafted culinary masterpiece every time I sit down to eat. That's going a bit far. I know John complains about being plagued by fatherly concern every chance he gets. He is overwhelmed by pastries whenever he ventures from his room. I'm glad my mother doesn't poke her considerable nose into my private affairs, but I'm sick of eating oatmeal. Rose. I told you don't worry about it. But you will worry about it. You worry about all your friends. All two of them. Rose smiles with half of her mouth. It seems to be about all she can manage. Lightning crashes. She looks so small and sad against this wall of bottles. You know how to fix this. Thunder rolls and you clench your fist. A friendship clench. You don't know who you are, you don't know why you're here, but you do know that surely you have these powers for a reason. And what better reason than helping a poor young girl with a troubled home life? Let's teleport to a restaurant! You got some money though? Oh yeah. Or we can just teleport without paying the bill, you know? Okay. Rolling up your floppy sleeves, you get the word. What are you doing? You start with the dark liquors first. In your experiences, those cause worse hangovers and are more likely to contribute to the absence of hot, motherly meals and the overconsumption of oatmeal. You grab 2 bottles of rum and 1 of bourbon, which you truck in one armpit. Bro, what are you doing? Then you zap out of the house and into a clearing in the nearby woods a couple of hours ago before it started raining. You drop the bottles and go back for more. Are you just stealing all of my mother's liquor? Is this your solution to her alcoholism? Don't worry, Rose. Rose can thank you later. You go for the tequila next, then the vodka. Then you get sick of this organized approach and just start grabbing whatever and dumping it in the past. Rose watches you do this for a while, then she hops on the counter, crosses her legs, and starts texting. Wow, she's really so intent on her conversation that she isn't even noticing you fixing her domestic situation. She keeps giving you little fleeting looks, and you're pretty sure she must be talking about you. You just let her talk. It isn't right to try to invade your friend's privacy. You attempt to resist the temptation, which you fail at immediately. Not even an overused meme can save you. You zap behind her onto the counter where you can spy on her private correspondence. What? Oh, it's freaking Jade. I don't know about any. I don't know anything about them. I'm sorry. Sigh. And here was me trying to take advantage of your uncanny ability to make guesses verging on procrastination. I'm recently considering a reevaluation on magic. You don't know who this person is. Maybe you should just... You go back in time a couple minutes to when Rose started her conversation. Your past self is busily zapping back and forth, carrying liquor bottles. You hunker down so you don't see yourself and cause a paradox or whatever the heck. Cynical therapist began pestering garden Gnostic. Out of a morbid curiosity to shine a light on my future, I'd come with metaphorical hat in hand to ask you to consult your dream clouds. Do you happen to know anything about a strange cardboard cutout creature masquerading as a mailman? Huh? Are you sleeping? Oh my god, I have to do Jade's voice. Like, sorry, I had to scold Beck. He's been acting really weird all of a sudden. Anyway, is this the same mailman that John was talking about? The fake one who hung out with him? That's the one. They are currently emptying my mother's liquor cabinet in an attempt to prevent her from overindulging herself. Oh, are they drinking it? No, I think they're just dropping it into the woods with their magic powers. Oh, do they know that she could just go out and buy more liquor? That's something you can do wherever you live, right? Yeah, well, not exactly where we live. I think the nearest boozery is a good 20-minute drive. I'm not exactly entirely sure where my mother got it at all. We don't own a car as far as I know. Sometimes it seems like she has the ability to just make things appear. I don't know anything about them, I'm sorry. There's the thing. And here was me trying to take advantage of your uncanny ability to make guesses verging on procrastination, as I am recently considering a reevaluation on magic. I'm still pretty sure magic is fake. At least the kinds of magic you're talking about. Bro, when you play Spurv and you get all those powers, that's magic. There's probably some real magic out there somewhere. Yes, for instance, the sort that lets you spy on your hostess's private correspondence while you are stealing her mother's libations? You freeze! With the contrite zap, you reappear in front of Rose. She sets her phone down and props her chin up on a delicate fist. Sorry, you honestly don't know what got into you. You're just gonna resist using your power for evil. Haven't you heard that with great power comes great responsibility? Rose is right. She's totally right. You've only had this power for like a day, so you still aren't used to the idea of being able to just zap all over the narrative. Clearly, you did not appreciate the implications. Zapping all over the narrative sounds potentially stressful. Oh, you bet. You are incredibly stressed right now. Rose laughs. You apologize to her for stealing all her mom's drinks. That was kind of overzealous of you. No, actually, I thought it was hilarious. I've never really been one for pranks. That's always fallen more in John's wheelhouse. But there's nothing wrong in occasional stepping outside of one's comfort zone. Let's do a vodka next. The two of you working together gets the place cleared out pretty quick. You zap Rose along with you to the bright clearing in the field, and for a moment she just stands in a sunbeam blinking up at the cloudless sky. Her expression said she still might not be totally convinced any of this is happening. When all the liquor has been transferred from the bedroom to the woods and a big glittering dragon's hoard of booze, you and Rose fall down next to it in a messy heap. Well, you fall into a messy heap. Rose lowers herself daintily, sitting more on her knees than on her butt, probably to keep her skirt from getting dirty. You get the idea that even though she lives in the middle of nowhere, she doesn't spend a ton of time outside. You tell her again that you're sorry you spied on her correspondence with her green friend Gigi. Also, you hope she isn't going to get in trouble with her mom. I'm not oodily concerned. I'll tell her where it all is in a couple days. Although by that time, I'm sure at least a good third of it will be water damaged. I'm sure this will have fantastic implications for our relationship and not at all exhiberate the emotional problems underlying her addiction. You laugh awkwardly, ha ha ha. Well, now you kind of just feel like trash. Rose lies back on the grass and raises a hand to trace the curves of a fluffy white cloud. She closes her eyes. Perhaps it's just projection on my part, or wishful thinking. But ever since I met you, I feel like something has changed. Or rather, something has failed to change, if that makes any sense. It's probably nothing. Her eyes flicker back open, endlessly purple, fixed on the sky like she can see something beyond it. And once again, you feel that there's something really crucial that you forgot. But at least you've made a new friend. And even if you don't think Rose's brand would ever allow her to call you as such, you're lying in a sunny clearing next to a pile of alcohol, and honestly, it doesn't get much friendlier than that. Oh, the little robe. Well, that is the end, guys. Ooh. I saw somewhere that Act 3 was coming out real soon, maybe like Wednesday, but I don't know if it was true or not. So, bro. I'll play it when it comes out. I'll try to play it right when it comes out as best as I can. Well, that is all, guys. Peace out, friends.